Welcome to Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by LA's First Choice Auto Auction on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. It's your chance to hear directly from the head of Lion Football. Now, live from Topala Catering in downtown Hammond, here's Alan Waddell.
Incarnate Word. The Lions jumped out to a 14-3 lead, but couldn't hold on as Incarnate Word got the win and moved to 3-0 in conference play. Our Lions were once again victimized by costly turnovers, two which ended up in defensive touchdowns for the Cardinals, and UIW's high-flying offense got rolling in the second and third quarters. Our Lions will now try to regroup and prepare for Houston Baptist as they come into Strawberry Stadium for homecoming this Saturday afternoon. Good evening, Lion fans. I'm Alan Waddell, and I want to welcome you to Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction, live from our home, Topala, right here in Hammond. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you may be tonight, whether on the Lions Radio Network or watching live on Facebook or the archive on YouTube. We'll be with you until 8 o'clock. And over the next hour, we'll get Coach Scelfo's thoughts on the game against Incarnate Word and get a preview of this week's game against the Houston Baptist Huskies. But first, let's take a break. When we come back, I'll be joined by the head football coach of your Southeastern Lions, Frank Scelfo. Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo is presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topala on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for providing the facilities to meet my health and nutritional needs in order for me to be the best student athlete I can be.
For making game day experiences go from ordinary to extraordinary.
For allowing me to meet new people and build lifelong friendships while competing at the school I love.
For giving me the resources to pursue my degree and the ability to excel in the classroom.
For helping me look my best as I compete and achieve my goals.
Thank you.
Imagine life without football. No Friday night lights, no pep rallies, no band. All that time invested to teach young men and women commitment and team spirit, gone. Football, where young men and women compete to be the best. Where bands, cheerleaders, and countless others take part in the team experience. Celebrate the passion that only happens every fall. Join the game.
All right, welcome back here to Topala Catering in downtown Hammond. I'm Alan Waddell. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. This is Inside Southeastern Football with Coach Frank Scelfo. Lions went on the road this past weekend and took on the Incarnate Word Cardinals. Dropped that contest as they'll be home again this weekend against Houston Baptist for homecoming. At this time, we're going to welcome to the show the head football coach of your Southeastern Lions, Coach Frank Scelfo. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it.
Coach, Saturday was certainly kind of a weird game. You know, it really started out Great. I mean, really started out like
Seems like we're playing a lot of weird games, aren't we?
Yeah. It has been a little bit.
Yeah, it really has. I mean,
but, we jump out there in the first half in this game. It looks like, in the first couple of plays that, hey, man, we might, blow these guys out the field. And you got to give them credit as they certainly hung around there in the first quarter and then made a lot of plays there down the stretch.
I thought they did a great job bouncing back, handling adversity, which we didn't do a good job of doing that. And, like we've talked about all season long, it's our job as a coach. It's my job as the head coach to make sure that our guys are prepared at all times for all 60 minutes. And I felt like that our staff as a whole, but it starts with me, those guys did a better job than us preparing their football team to play in that game under the conditions and on the road and whatever it is. We can come up with all kind of things, but at the end of the day, you got to go out there and play for 60 minutes, and we didn't do that. We didn't do the things that I know that we're capable of doing that we've showed throughout the season at times. Some sparks, some things that we can do on both sides of the football. And we were uncharacteristic more on defense probably than on offense. We have been turning it over all year, and we did it again. And it hurts us, and it's stuff that we work on, we spend a lot of time on, and, it's just educating our players. And we don't have to be great. We just have to be consistently good, and we'll become a great team because of that. But sometimes our players, they try to do a little bit too much, and we're working on that. But as a head coach, all the responsibility falls on to me, not on them.
So, again, you say that, that you felt like they outplayed us, whatever. I mean,
yeah, they outcoached us. I mean, heck yeah, they did a good job. I thought their staff did a nice job. The game plan, keeping their guys together, moving forward. We jumped out to 14-0 lead, and they stayed in there, and then we turned it over, gave them some hope, and they got going again, and we couldn't snap out of it. So I was disappointed in that for my football team, and me being able to make some adjustments and rally our guys.
Certainly, one thing I do want to point out, and if those of that have followed Southeastern football over the years, and whenever Incarnate Word has come into the league, this is not the same team that we've played last year. This was a much better team. I thought their quarterback played outstanding. They had a lot of junior college transfers that then they have a new head coach, but I thought they were a good football team, and that's certainly one of the reasons they're 3-0 and have a chance to go to 4-0 this weekend.
Yeah, and we talked about it last week, Alan. They're a good team. The quarterback is active, runs around. He did a really nice job. In fact, he's probably I maybe underestimated him a little bit looking at him on film. I know the defensive staff didn't, but maybe I did. I thought their offensive line was really good. I thought they did a good job to handle us up front, being able to run the football better than I thought they would. And, they've got some explosive players. I think when my son played there, was a 3-year letterman there, played there, started there for him. And when I watched those guys, that's a completely different makeup of a football team. They didn't have the talent back then, even 5 years ago, that they do now. So it's you're seeing a program on the rise. But we talked about it from top to bottom. This conference is getting better and better and better, more competitive week in and week out, and that's going to show up on the scoreboard at the end of the year, at the end of each game, really.
Coach, I thought, really through the beginning of the season, I thought our defense has played pretty well. We talked about their effort a week ago where you held Northwestern State to 10 offensive points. This weekend, they put up some yards on us and they put up some points. I mean, what was the difference? What were they doing? I mean, was it us? Was it them? What happened this weekend?
Well, you got to give them credit. Now, they've got some good players. The quarterback did a good job. I talked about the offensive line. They had a receiver, number 21's explosive, made some big plays. Their running back, ripped off some yardage at big clips. But at the end of the day, and you always go back and look at the film and everything else, and you kind of feel like if we can correct the things and control the things that we can control, those things wouldn't have happened. And we didn't do that. We were, and when I say we were uncharacteristic, we had busting coverages. We had guys filling the wrong gaps. We didn't play physical on a couple of things. We missed a couple of blitzes that would have, we had called right into the teeth of that thing, and, we didn't get it done. So we had more mental lapses this week defensively, and that's what caused the scoreboard to light up. We knew Northwestern. We wanted to force them to run the football, and they did, but we kept them out of the end zone. We've been really good in the red zone, not allowing people in there. This week, UIW got down there, scored. They scored from far out. They scored every which way you could. We were good on third downs, 1 for 10. But we only had 10 third downs. They were having big yardage on first and second down. So we didn't put them in a lot of third down situations, and that hurt us throughout the game.
Coach, we've played 6 games now, and certainly I know your staff, you self-evaluate yourself, your team, and maybe some trends. And a couple of trends that I'm noticing, and just I want to get your comments on, is it seems like we've been able to really score the football early, especially in the first quarter. I mean, we did it here 2 out of the first 4 plays, we hit big plays and score a touchdown. But we seem to be bogging down, in the middle quarters. Is that something that you're seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to be consistently good throughout the course of the game. And if you're not scoring touchdowns, at least moving the ball, punting it and changing the field. If you can flip the field. And Ivy's been really good at doing that. So we want to be able to put him in a position. I think it was more this week. We had opportunities from a field position standpoint. It wasn't like we had one drive that started down, in our end zone when we fumbled and gave it away. But the rest of the drives, we had good field position. We had good returns. Defensively, we played well. So it wasn't like we were having to drive the field. We got to do a better job putting those things together. We got to run the football better. We got to throw and protect better. We got to do everything that we can better. But at the end of the day, we can't turn it over, man, and get the penalties. And everybody says, well, God, don't you know that? Yeah, we know that. We watch it. We watch the film just like you guys do. But we got to do a better job of how important it is for us to hold on to the football and the impact it makes over the game. I think the interception really turned the tide a little bit. You and I talked about it earlier today. That was a huge turning point for us. And then, the same thing with the fumble in the end zone kind of put that thing away.
Coach, another thing that just kind of jumps out is the amount of plays we're playing on defense. I think this is the third time this year we've played nearly 50 snaps in the first half on defense. I really can't figure it out. I've tried to go back and look through the games, and even in this one you talk about they were 1 of 10 on third down in this game, so it's not like they were continuing drives. Have y'all been able to look at that and really come up with a reason of why we're staying on the field so much?
This week was a little bit different. We scored on the second play. Then we scored on the fourth play. So they had the ball first, and then we scored 2 plays later after they had a little drive they put together. They did it again. We got 2 plays, scored again. Then they got the ball back. We had 3 3-and-outs in the first half, 3 2-and-outs, including the last minute right before the half, that drive. And then we threw the interception, and then we had the interception. So out of the 9 drives that we had, or 9 possessions that we had in the first half, we didn't run any more than 6 plays on 3 of them. On 6 of them. More than 3 plays on 6 of those. So we didn't keep the football. Even when we were successful and scored, we scored quick and, put defense right back on the field. They did a nice job of, again, picking up yardage on first and second down. An interesting fact, we talked about on this show last week, that quarterback, we had to keep him in the pocket, make him stay there. He was a dual-threat guy, was very dangerous with his feet. And we had a plan to rush up the field, outside, collapse the pocket, keep him in there. We didn't do that. He was 5 of 8 when he got outside the pocket for 103 yards and a touchdown. Well, that's 20 yards of completion. Just not going to get it done like that. So it was our lack of ability to stop him at times, but offensively, having the 3-and-outs and then the quick scores put our defense back out there quicker than we'd like to.
I was very impressed with their quarterback. I mean, I walked out of that in the first half, and I said, man, this guy's playing lights out. I mean, sometimes they have it, and it's just their kind of day, and it was certainly his day in this one. Coach, your conversation with the team after the game, their thought. I mean, we had 1-2 in a row. We had a little momentum building. You go over there, and this is a roadblock, and now you got to get back at it this week against Houston.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether you win or lose, by the time we get to this time, we're already on to the next opponent, which we are. But they got to. You go back during the course of the week. That's when you start. When you on Sundays and early on Mondays, you evaluate what happened the week before. So you go back to Tuesday's practice and Wednesday's practice and Thursday and Friday, and you talk to your team about those things on Sunday, and you make notes each day after practice. Every day after or during practice, I'm writing things down during the course of practice on things we did well and things that we need to improve on, maybe some issues that we had. And I do that every day. When I go back into the office and look at the film, I add some more things to that on both sides, good and bad. And we talk to our team about those things. And then when they show up on Sunday, it's now you can go back to it and say practice really is everything. And we have to be able to do the things in practice that we want them to come through on Saturday night. Well, we have to be able to do those things during the course of the week in practice.
Coach, I'm sure a lot of our fans listening are here tonight are concerned Lorenzo Nunez's health. He did not make the trip in this one. Can you comment on where he's at?
Yeah, he'll be doing fine. He's good.
He had an illness.
He was he's fine. He'll be okay. Probably be a game time decision, or right towards the end of the week we'll decide what we're going to do with him on Saturday. He'll be able to go, but he's great. Mom and Dad in great spirits, so everybody's good.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about this one right here on Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
Hey Lion fans, I'm Frank Scelfo, the head football coach for your Southeastern Lions. It's important for us to excel on the field, but it's even more important for us to recognize our great community partners.
That's why we have this exciting new promotion here at Big Frog with Southeastern Athletics.
Come by our Big Frog location on Southwest Railroad Avenue for exclusive Frank Scelfo design shirt.
That's right. When you wear your exclusive shirt to any Lions football game at Strawberry Stadium, be sure to stop by the concession stand to claim your free order of nachos for being a proud supporter of Southeastern Athletics and Big Frog.
So hurry on down to Big Frog at our Hammond location and pick up your shirt today.
Line up and frog on!
Each summer, student-athlete leaders from the Southland Conference's 13 schools get together for a retreat. Before we start another season of competition, there's time to have some fun and bond. We also share experiences of serving our campuses and communities. Together, Southland student-athletes completed more than 30,000 community service hours over the past year. We pull for each other and push to make each other better. Just part of what makes us Southland strong.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
So say it to my face. You don't know me. You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter.
Shortstop.
High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
All right, welcome back to Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topol. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be tonight, either on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network or also, on Facebook or YouTube. Here tonight, we're talking about the Lions' tough one this past week as they went on the road and took on Incarnate Word, dropped that football game, but we're going to turn the page here in a little bit and look at the Houston Baptist Huskies as they come in this weekend for Homecoming 2018 at Southeastern. But, Coach, let's kind of walk through the game a little bit and talk about some big plays in this one, get your thoughts on it. And I mentioned it earlier, I don't know if the game could have started any better for your team. You come out, you get a stop on defense, they punt it to us. It's for the second week in a row, the second play of the game goes for big yardage. We run a jet sweep to Juwan Petit-Frere and put it in the end zone. Talk about that.
Yeah, that was one kind of, like I said, each week you look for things where you can take a shot at them early to see what you can get. And we thought we had it on the first play. Just Austin and Chase and just hit off his hands. And, so we had a chance on the first play of the game and then came right back to it. And I think they misaligned, but we didn't expect it to be like that. But Juwan broke one to make the safety miss. We had a nice block on the perimeter, made the safety miss, and then he was able to take it the distance. So when you got a guy like Juwan who's explosive, you got to figure out ways to get him the football, whether it be in space by handing it off or tossing it to him, returning kicks, or just throwing in football. But you owe it to your team to make sure that guy touches the football.
Coach, we talked about this year, just traditional running game hasn't been as effective as I know you would like it to be. You start that with maybe a jet sweep motion. Is that just looking for different ways to run the football for more of a creative?
It absolutely is. You got to, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and you're not having success, quit doing it. Do something else. But you got to continue to work on some stuff. And we got to continue to work on us being more physical up front on the offensive line. When we're going downhill. We had some success later on in the game, but we got to press to run some more. We got to run the football. We got to trust it. The running game kind of goes, you gain 2, you gain 1, you gain 3, you gain 1, and then you get 1 for 16. Now you got 5 for 20 yards. So now you're 4 yards a carry. And then you gain 1 and 4, and then you break 1 for 30. So that's how the run game goes. You're not going to pick up 7 or 8 yards every time you run the football. There's going to be some 1 and 2 yard gains, or sometimes a good run by the running back is a 1 yard gain because you can get back to the line of scrimmage or negative, whatever it is. Just get back to the line of scrimmage. But you got to be able to have the patience to run the football. And I thought maybe we could have stayed with it a little bit longer. That was on me.
Coach, you go up 14-3 in the first quarter. You get the football back. The second play on the second drive, you go big ball over the top to Juwan Petit-Frere, 74-yard touchdown reception, and just like that, you're up 14-3. Now, you mentioned earlier scoring quick is a good thing, but then it's also a bad thing because you throw your defense right back out there.
Yeah, but I'm never going to say don't score.
Yeah, right.
Slow down. Defense needs a blow. Don't score. No, we're going to score. And then we'll figure out the other part afterwards. But that, we were talking about how the time of possession, number of plays, things like that. That, just kind of was a little different this week than it has been. But, that's just what it was.
So the Lions go up 14-3 in this one, and then, it stays that way all the way into the second quarter. They put together a drive, make it 14-10. One thing about this game is you made this comment earlier, we had outstanding field position. Juwan's ability in the return game has just totally changed what people are doing. They're not kicking it deep to him. They're doing a lot of sky kicks. But on the flip side of that, we're getting outstanding field position.
Yeah, we are. When I forget which game, Lamar.
Yeah.
Instead of kicking it to him, they went out of bounds twice. We get it on 35. The other night, they're sky kicking right around the 30-yard line. So, when you get that, that's the value of a guy. And we felt like special teams was hitting yardage for us. That's the value of a guy when you got him back there. They've got to do something else. Now it becomes a game plan issue for the other team. And I thought, when we're able to go 65 yards instead of 80 yards, that's a huge advantage for the team that's able to do that. But we didn't take advantage of it. That's what I alluded to earlier. We've got to take advantage of those things. We have an opportunity to go 50 or 60 yards. We've got to take advantage of them. We've got to score points.
So the Lions are leading 14-10, and I know this was probably the play of the game, in my opinion, is the pick six. We're up around midfield. We go to run a screen pass, and Chasen, they defended it well. So Chasen's really trying to throw the football away, and it hits their lineman. It wasn't on TV, so those that didn't see it, just take my word for it. I was there. They threw it, and it hit his foot or his calf or something, and literally bounced straight in the air. I mean, they couldn't have thrown it up in the air any better to their defensive lineman, and he caught it and ran it in for a touchdown. And certainly at that time, it felt like even though they had gone down and made it 14-10, that we just still had the game in control. But at that point, I don't know if it just gave them life, but it seemed like they hit a different gear after that point.
Well, I think you saw the emotion on their sidelines right after that. But it was, Chasen was doing the right thing. It was covered. They smelled it and, dropped off on the branch. We were throwing it to Branson, and he went to spike it, throw it down into the ground, and, made a bad throw, really. Hit the defender in the leg. It bounced straight up like you said. The other guy was standing there, caught it. Took off down the sidelines. I mean, geez, those are things you don't expect to happen. I watched Blake Bortles threw one off of a guy's head yesterday in Jacksonville. Ryan Tannehill threw one off of a guy's back yesterday in Miami. We did it on Saturday. Maybe we're a trendsetter around here. I don't know. I don't like it. I can tell you that.
Let's talk about a couple more plays there in that first half before we get to our next break. And this was the other scenario I thought from just watching the game, being a spectator at the game this weekend, was a big sequence in the game. They're up 24-14. Our backs are kind of against the wall. We have a great drive. First of all, we get a short field because we field a short kickoff and they face mask us, so we get the ball in plus territory. But we go 5 plays, 43 yards in 47 seconds, and make it 24-21. And at that point, we were down 10, and as a fan, I was kind of like, okay, here we go. We're back in the game. It's 24-21. We're getting the ball to start the second half. But they were able to go down and get points right before the half, and I thought that was certainly, I don't want to say backbreaker, but it changed the way the game was going there at halftime.
Yeah, I was disappointed a little bit in the way our defense. We had a couple of busts, and we let the quarterback out of the pocket one time, and then the other time we had a breakdown in coverage. So which I was saying earlier. That's not characteristic of us defensively. When LSU scored right before the half, there was no breakdowns there. That was a physical play that the guy made. But for us to give up those 2 big plays right before half after the run was uncharacteristic. It was disappointing. And we went into halftime, said, let's regroup. Let's find out what's going on. Let's make some changes. Let's make some adjustments. We thought we did what we needed to do to come out in the second half and get it done, and we didn't get it done.
So the Lions trailed at halftime 31-21. Let's go ahead and take another break. We come back, we'll finish talking about the second half and wrap up the Incarnate Word game before we turn the page and look ahead to the Lions' opponent this weekend as they'll host Houston Baptist in Strawberry Stadium for homecoming. Right here on Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
life without football. No Friday night lights, no pep rallies, no band. All that time invested to teach young men and women commitment and team spirit, gone. Football, where young men and women compete to be the best, where bands, cheerleaders, and countless others take part in the team experience. Celebrate the passion that only happens every fall. Join the game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for providing the facilities to meet my health and nutritional needs in order for me to be the best athlete I can be.
For making game day experiences go from ordinary to extraordinary.
For allowing me to meet new people and build lifelong friendships while competing at the school I love.
For giving me the resources to pursue my degree and the ability to excel in the classroom.
For helping me look my best as I compete and achieve my goals.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back. About halfway home here on Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla, our host sponsor this year, as we're here each and every week from 7 to 8 o'clock talking Lion football. We appreciate everybody that's tuned in tonight and also that are in attendance as we're talking Lion football. We'll be doing this again each and every Monday night. Coach, let's jump back into this one. Certainly you were trailing 31-21 at halftime, and I know that sequence right before the half, they went down and got points. They got that touchdown, 3 plays, 75 yards. What was the message to the team at halftime? What was was it a little shock going in there at halftime as they just put those points up on the board?
No, I wasn't shocked because we saw what had happened. You saw the breakdowns. You saw what took place and who busted the coverage and things like that. So that was just, let's get it corrected. It's okay. There's no panic. Just get it corrected. Take care of the football and do the things we're supposed to do. Like we did earlier in the game, and then on the drive right there at the end to get to the 21-point mark to, drive the football down the field and score. So do those things offensively. Defensively, go back to playing, being who we are and playing the way we're supposed to be able to play and communicate. It was a lack of communication on one of the throws, and communicate, and we'll be fine. Let's just go play. Let's go.
Coach, are you seeing teams in the second half against us make adjustments against what we're doing offensively? I feel like we've been getting a lot of pressure in the second half. Are y'all seeing that as a coaching staff? Or?
Yeah, the numbers aren't showing that. Maybe they're seeing some stuff, but the percentages of pressures in the first half as opposed to the second half really is not showing that right now. But I don't think that when you look at what we're doing and how we're doing it that. And I'm not saying we're playing some good football teams, but we got to stop hurting ourselves. We got to stop shooting ourselves in the foot.
It's about us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we got to handle the things that we can handle, and we can't make dumb mistakes and line up wrong, and not go in motion. We're supposed to go in motion, but that's we got to do a better job. We got to prepare better during the week. We got to install it better as coaches. We got to do a better job. The staff's got to do a better job. I got to do a better job.
Coach, talk about they scored again on defense in this one. And we basically the second time. In the last couple of weeks, we fumbled one in the end zone back there, and I couldn't see it. I was kind of blocked from what happened. I don't know if he got hit. I don't know if he just dropped the football. I don't know what happened, but that was a real big play in the game. It's still 10 points, still manageable at that point, and it goes to 17 with about 11 minutes to play in the third quarter. Still got a lot of time in the game, but certainly, when you're thinking come back, and then it goes down 17, I think for a psyche situation.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it hits you. But again, And listen, nobody feels worse about it than
No doubt.
Chasen. He feels terrible about it. But Chasen also understands that's part of playing that position. Things happen sometimes at that position, and it's easy for somebody to sit back and say, well, he should have done that. I can't believe he did that. Well, I don't care which quarterback you are at whatever level. Those things have happened to those guys, no matter who you are, and the Hall of Fame is full of them. So his challenge this week is to have a short memory. The game's over with. Sit back which we did yesterday, sat back, looked at the game objectively and said, okay, I can do that better. I did that pretty good. I can do that a little bit better. Can't do any more of those. And then move forward, and that's what you got to do. He's your leader. He's a guy that you look at as your trigger man, but he's got to take care of the football, and he knows that. That's his charge as the quarterback for us, and he's got to do a better job of doing that. So that mistake in the end zone is something that it bothered him a bunch, and I said it should. You're supposed to feel like that. If it doesn't bother you, we got the wrong guy back there playing quarterback. So it does bother you. But once we get out of Sunday's meetings and we get out on the field and start preparing for Houston Baptist, then forget about it. I don't want you to worry about that anymore because you can't go back and fix anything. It's only going to get you again if that thing stays on your mind. So from the quarterback's perspective, I don't think he can be overlooked. But we don't sit back as coaches and players and keep dwelling on what happened last week, good or bad. We didn't say last week so-and-so did a great job and so-and-so did this thing really well and he did really well. We don't say anything. If they did, we don't say that. We say it's over with and done with. Move forward. Let's get busy on going back to today, which is tomorrow is going to be Tuesday. Let's take care of Tuesday and we build towards Saturday.
Coach, you've had a lot of experience in your career working with quarterbacks, directly working with that position. Chasen, I mean, if you look, he's having a great year. I mean, he's done a lot of really good things. He's second in the nation in passing right now. But in the last 3 games, he has turned the football over, leading directly to touchdowns for the other team. Is that something you talk about? Do you worry about his confidence? I mean, how do you handle that type of situation with him?
No, you do directly. Talk about it directly. It can't happen. These things cannot happen. But the quarterback position is unique. You can touch the ball every time. So what you got to be able to do is you got to be a great decision maker. I think the 2 biggest qualities in all the quarterbacks that I've coached, the successful ones, is leadership and decision making. Those guys have been able to do some things on the field because they have to be a coach on the field. Take the situation and grasp the enormity of it, of the down distance, the time on the clock, the coverage, the front, the play, the scheme, motion, shifts, all those things. Make a good decision and do it in 3-4 seconds. So there's a big charge on the Chasen to do that, and sometimes we forget that he didn't play since last year, week 3. But he can't be doing the things that he did this past week or last week or the week before and turning it over. By not turning it over, he becomes a lot more effective quarterback in everybody's eyes. So you can't look at 2 plays this week or 1 play and say that defines who he is as a quarterback, because it doesn't. Now we got to stop it because it hurts us. But what defines him as a quarterback is the leadership that he gives our football team, and he's got to do a better job with decision making on some of these plays.
Coach, let's talk about a little bit more in the second half. Certainly they got out to a little bit of a lead there, 45-21 there in the third quarter. I thought your team didn't quit. I thought we came back, we got points. We had a blocked field goal. I thought we ran the football better in the second half. So even though the game didn't go our way, I thought we did some good things there in the second half, though.
Well, I think you always got to go find a silver lining. You can't. It's not all negative. No. I don't care what the scoreboard says. Every play is an independent play. So you got to go look at the positives and negatives of every play. And I thought we did fight. We did compete. In fact, we called a timeout, got the whole team together, and I said we do have a brand as a football team. And our football team, our brand is that we're going to play hard physical football for 60 minutes. And I thought we did that. We challenged them with that. I don't care what the scoreboard says. What you do on the field represents who you are. So do that, and we'll earn the respect when the scoreboard starts finishing in our favor. But right now, you play as hard as you possibly can until the thing goes to 0, and they won't let you play anymore.
Coach, I thought we ran the ball better. Did you see that?
We did. I thought Devontae and Darren both did a better job of there were a couple of seams. I think Pat Allen had a decent game up front. Our interior guys got pushed around a little bit, but they fought. And, we wore them down a little bit towards the end. I just want to be able to do that earlier and do it throughout the game whenever we can. Our backs are going to have to do a better job finding some holes. And Teron Jones jumped in there, had a couple of plays. He had to fumble, but we got it back. But, he had to fumble, but he ran the ball well. He had a good week of practice, though.
We said it earlier, held them to 1 of 10 on third down. We did a good job when we got in that situation. Just didn't get them there, I guess enough in this game. But anything else you went back and watched this that kind of jumps out at you want to mention?
No, I shouldn't say that. One thing we played a lot of new guys this week. Darius Dokes came in and played and blocked the field goal.
Yeah.
Jordan Griffin went down. He was on kickoff coverage, also on another special team extra point field goal block, and he went down and made a tackle on that. Josh Carr went down on kickoff, and they also had some snaps on defense. These are all freshmen. Arlen Williams jumped in there on kickoff and was really good during that aspect of the deal. So we played about 5 or 6 guys that hadn't played. Daniel Ward-McGee got in the game. So we played about 5 or 6 guys that hadn't played much, that really have been progressing throughout the course of the season. We said from the beginning, let's develop the bottom half of our roster to push the top half. And that's kind of what we're doing. Those younger guys are starting to emerge a little bit. They're starting to gain some experience, and they're practicing better, and they're playing in the games. They're starting in there on special teams and doing some things there.
All right, Lions dropped this one, but you got to turn the page now and get ready for Houston Baptist this weekend in Strawberry Stadium. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to turn our attention to Houston Baptist. We'll break down the Huskies. When we come back, right here on Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
Each summer, student-athlete leaders from the Southland Conference's 13 schools get together for a retreat. Before we start another season of competition, there's time to have some fun and bond. We also share experiences of serving our campuses and communities. Together, Southland student-athletes completed more than 30,000 community service hours over the past year. We pull for each other and push to make each other better. Just part of what makes us Southland strong.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student-athletes. College sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student-athlete.
Hey Lion fans, I'm Frank Scelfo, the head football coach for your Southeastern Lions. It's important for us to excel on the field, but it's even more important for us to recognize our great community partners.
That's why we have this exciting new promotion here at Big Frog with Southeastern Athletics.
Come by our Big Frog location on Southwest Railroad Avenue for exclusive Frank Scelfo design shirt.
That's right. When you wear your exclusive shirt to any Lions football game at Strawberry Stadium, be sure to stop by the concession stand to claim your free order of nachos for being a proud supporter of Southeastern Athletics and Big Frog.
So hurry on down to Big Frog at our Hammond location and pick up your shirt today.
Line up and frog on!
All right, welcome back. We have about 20 minutes left to go here on our show. This is Inside Southeastern Football with Coach Frank Scelfo, an opportunity for you to hear from the head of Lion football each and every Monday night from 7 to 8 o'clock. We're presented, as always, by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla right here on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. Coach, let's turn the page from Incarnate Word. We'll start looking at Houston Baptist this weekend as they come in for a 4 o'clock kickoff in Strawberry Stadium. It's homecoming. Homecoming, they always move up. It's a afternoon game, so we're going to play at 4 o'clock for the first time in Strawberry Stadium this year. I know homecoming always has some distractions that go along with it as well, as you'll have different places you have to be this week, and certainly, but it's great to be back home playing at Strawberry Stadium.
Yeah, definitely great. But I'm looking forward to homecoming. There's a lot of people. I've got a lot of phone calls and emails, and looking forward to meeting a lot of people that I've been corresponding since I got here that I haven't met, but just corresponded through social media and things like that. So being able to meet them, see them, having them here for the game, and I'll see them either the Lion Walk. Some of them are staying over till Sunday and go and visit with some of those guys, and that were here many years ago, and then some of them were here not too long ago. That just getting a chance to meet them, showing them around the facilities, and just seeing Lion for Life is not just a hashtag that somebody just laid out there. It's it's truly a way of life for the people who went to Southeast and love this university. And, I've embraced it, obviously, but our team is embracing it. They know what it means. They're starting to become more affiliated with this university and understanding what going to school here, growing up here, and seeing this university expand and do the things that it's doing. It makes everybody proud. So I'm looking forward to that.
A couple of things about this weekend. The parade, I was told, is going to be at 12. So anyone that's listening, the parade is going to be at 12. So as you know from years past, if you've been a part of this, you better get there before 12 because the roads are going to be blocked. So you got to get there. If not, come after. Because if you come around 12, you're out of luck. You have to sit there and wait. So we have the homecoming parade this weekend. It's always a great tryout in Friendship Circle. It's supposed to be great weather. I know that there's some of that, the hurricane or whatever that's going over there towards Florida. It's not going to stay over here by us, as that's going to be out of here.
Yeah, we don't want that.
It's supposed to be great weather this weekend for homecoming as Houston Baptist comes in. And Coach, let's talk about this team a little bit. They're 1-4 on the year. They just played Central Arkansas, but one thing that jumps out to me about Houston Baptist is they put up a lot of points. They put up 21 in the first half this week against Central Ark. They put up 14 in the first quarter. So they've been able to come out and score some points. Talk about the Huskies a little bit.
Yeah, you're going to see a team that's got a fast tempo. So most of the teams now know huddle anyway. But you're going to see a team that really snaps the ball quicker than anybody else. A lot of times you can't tell on film how quick the ball snapped. But with these guys, you actually see the defenses in chaos that they're playing. I think there's an adjustment period to understand how fast they're actually going. So, that's going to be quite a challenge. We're going to try to replicate that in practice, going against our offense every day to run some plays fast, get lined up, change formations, and snap it and go and get our guys to line up and adjust. But sometimes it's hard to simulate the speed that the opponent's going to be able to do. So I think that's the one thing I think to look for when you go back and look at why they've jumped out and got a bunch of points early, is that they go fast. Defenses can't get lined up. They get caught with 12 on the field. They're misalignment. They got busts in the coverage, and they get explosive plays. And the quarterback now, and to me, just a little bit further, you might have going to ask this, but the quarterback does a really good job in the run game and the pass game. Because they go fast, it's not like he's checking at the sideline, having the coach tell him what to do. He understands fronts and coverages and pressures and things like that. So you see the ball getting to the right spots on the field in the pass game and the run game as he takes his team down the field.
Yeah, he's the young man that played against us a year ago. He's thrown for 1,361 yards, named Bailey Zappi. He's got 13 touchdown passes so far and 5 touchdowns. So they've been efficient scoring the football. And just for some of our fans that maybe haven't followed Houston Baptist and their scores, two of the teams traditionally in our league that play some of the best defense in our league is McNeese and Central Arkansas. They put up 34 against McNeese. They dropped that football game late. And then last week at Central Ark up on the stripes, they put up 35. So this is a team that can score. Yeah, and we got to be ready. I mean, especially, I don't think it would be hard to get your team's attention after last week with what the tempo.
You hope we never have the trouble getting their attention. We got to grow into that part. But you look at a team like McNeese, who's really good defensively. Really struggled with them, especially early in the game, and that's what I was talking about. Them adjusting to the speed of the game. So that'll be a challenge for Louis and the defensive staff to get our guys going, get lined up, make sure we don't give up the big plays. Go rally, make a tackle, and continue to do that. And then sooner or later they'll make a mistake, and we'll be able to capitalize on one of them.
One thing, if you look at their scores, they have been susceptible to give up some points, though. So talk about defensively. What are they trying to do? I mean, are they all or bust? I mean, come after it. What are they doing?
Yeah, no, they sit back a little bit more than you think. They're not a big pressure team. They're an odd front team, so you'll see 3 down. You'll see 5. They're more of a 3-5 team, so you'll see some defensive ends, but they'll drop off into coverage. It'll be similar at times to ULM, some of the things that they did when they went to their 3-down packages. But this is unique. This will be a unique defense that we see this week. So there'll be some adjustments. What they do, they, like you said, they take some chances. And I shouldn't say feast or famine, but they'll come get you trying to make a big play. But when they do, they'll expose themselves. We got to find it. But again, it's and we'll spend time. We will study our opponent, but there's no better opponent than ourselves when we got to go ahead and fix the things that we can fix. So we'll spend a lot more time on us than we will on them.
One thing I do want to point out to our fans is they have seems like every year they have a guy that's like in the top 5 in the nation in tackles.
Their middle linebacker was leading the nation up until about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. But right now he's second in the country in tackles. So Tunson.
He's got 71 tackles, 10.5 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks. So certainly he's a guy that we got to know where he's at on the field.
He's an active guy. We got a game plan for him. You definitely game plan to make sure. What he is, he's really instinctive. and he's a solid tackler in the open field. So there's a lot of spatial plays that you think you got him and you don't have him. And, he makes a tackle out in the open field. But he's like I said, he was leading the country, I think as of a week ago, and then now he's second in the country now. But he's one of the top tacklers.
So the Lions are going to take on Houston Baptist at 4 o'clock on Saturday. It is homecoming. Make sure you check linesports.net for all the different homecoming activities and those things. As series history between the two clubs, Southeastern leads the overall history 4-0. So we've only played them 4 times. We beat them every time. 2 times here in Hammond, and last year got after Houston Baptist over there on the road in Houston, 56-10. Certainly a better team this year, though. They're putting up a lot of points, as it ought to be a challenge this weekend. Coach, kind of talk about the standings in Southland where we're at. I know every week you got to take a look at them. We're 2-2 right now. Still very much in this thing, but you got to go start putting some wins together, and you got to start this weekend with Houston Baptist.
Yeah, we don't quite control it like we did this past week. We got to have some help from some other teams, but I think what you're going to see is that there's going to be some people beating other guys. I don't think this is the last game that UIW is going to win. I'm not sure some other guys will be able to go through the conference undefeated. Them and McNeese are going to play each other either this week or next week, so somebody's going to have a loss. Yeah. Nichols is going to play well. Sam Houston's going to play well. We get a chance to face. We have a great opportunity because we get all 3 of those guys. So we get a chance to do what we can do and show who we are when we get a chance to face them. And we're not overlooking HBU or Abilene Christian. We're not looking far ahead of any of that stuff. But I think what you'll see is a conference continue to take shape, but it'll continue to. I don't think there'll be a lot of separation between top and bottom like there has been in the past. I think what you'll see is more and more teams bunched into the middle, either chasing one or hanging out together. And we got, but our whole focus is on Houston Baptist. It's that's all we care about. What happened last week doesn't matter anymore. What happens next week after this doesn't matter. What happens now is what's important for us.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to have our question part of the show, as we're going to take questions from our audience on social media and also some that I got earlier today. And then we'll wrap it up here on Inside Southeastern Football with head coach Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for providing the facilities to meet my health and nutritional needs in order for me to be the best student athlete I can be.
For making game day experiences go from ordinary to extraordinary.
For allowing me to meet new people and build lifelong friendships while competing at the school I love.
For giving me the resources to pursue my degree and the ability to excel in the classroom.
For helping me look my best as I compete and achieve my goals.
Thank you.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
So say it to my face. You don't know me. You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter.
Shortstop.
High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
Welcome back to Inside Southeastern Football with Coach Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. As we have about 10 minutes left to go on our show, I'm going to get to the question segment in just a moment. One thing I did want to get you to touch on that I've had numerous people say to me, why haven't you touched on this yet? And I'm going to touch on it now.
Can
you talk about recruiting.
Yeah.
In-season recruiting, where you're at with that. And I know this is your first time you're going to be going through it here. Right when you got the job, I mean, the recruiting was you went through it, but it was a very short period of time. So
yeah,
now
it was that last week.
Right,
yeah,
it was that last
it.
week. So talk about that a little bit before we get to the question.
Yeah, it's going good. We got 16 commitments, 17 really, and all of them are from right around Southeastern Louisiana University, within driving distance. So we're excited about that. The kids, I can't talk specifically about who they are and things like that and what schools they're from, but you would recognize all the schools. You've been to the schools, the high schools, the kids, and everything else. We're excited about the, I guess, the energy that those guys are bringing to the program. So, we talked about where we need to be and where we want to go recruiting-wise, and no matter who's recruiting the guy, if we feel like he's good enough to play for us, we want to recruit him. And if we get him, we get him. If we don't, we're going to move on to the next one. But we want to start local and then just keep drawing circles around and going wider and wider and wider, getting as many guys as we can. So it's pretty exciting right now. I think staff's doing a great job.
And you get them in for on campus for official visits. You'll have some kids there this weekend.
Won't be official, but it'll be unofficial.
Unofficial.
Yeah, we've had the last 2 home games have been great for us. The atmosphere's been good. The UCA game, we had the Lightning, so we didn't get a chance to spend time with the guys after the game. But the Northwestern game, all those guys stayed around afterwards. We were able to sit down with them, spend a lot of time with them before and after the game with the parents, siblings, things like that. So looking forward to the same thing again this weekend. We got a bunch coming in. They come in through the weight room. We spend time right there in the Chauvin Center, and just have them relax, spend time with our coaches, our staff. Come visit. We'll sit down with the parents in my office and have conversations about what it's like to be in Hammond, and try to and talk to them, be honest and real with them about why it's important for them to be here and how they can develop and reach the dreams both on and off the field as a player and a person.
Just a follow-up question quickly, and I've heard you speak on this before, but those that haven't, that are listening to us or tuned in, your philosophy on recruiting, what you're going to do here at Southeastern, because when you look across FCS football, it seems like different programs have different philosophies. Whether you're going to bring in a lot of junior college guys or try to go get a bunch of 4-year transfers or try to your philosophy of what you're going to try to do here in the recruiting.
Yeah, let me say first that we got to go get the guys that are going to help us win this conference and go on into the playoffs. So that we can end the discussion on anything else. But we want to start with the local high school players, those players that have a connection to this area, so that when they go through 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5 years in case of a red shirt, and they graduate from this university, they stay here in this area and they get back to the university. And I think that's important to develop in a culture that these guys, they play against each other in high school and they come to school here. They actually end up recruiting each other. Family wants to stay family. And we want people in the stands. We want to bring those guys in. I love players from all over the country. I love good players, put it like that. So I don't care where he comes from. If he's good enough and he's going to start for us, I want him. But we got to start somewhere. And I'm starting right here in Southeast Louisiana. I think there's enough good players. I think the high school football in this state is fantastic. I've been all over the country. The coaches here are fantastic. They do a great job. But the passion for high school football here, and I've been a high school football coach in the state, the passion for high school football here is second to none. And why not go get those kids? And they might be an inch short or a step slow or not quite weigh as much, but the passion that they play with is different. And when you're playing for your hometown team and defending your home, it's much different than going off and being a mercenary. So I want to keep those guys here, the guys that we can. Then we'll branch out and go sign the needs that we have to get for other positions. But when we want to go fill our roster, we want to fill it out. I want you to be able to recognize and have been to the small towns and communities where these kids are from. And I want those people from those towns and communities to be able to come to Hammond and come to Southeastern for football games on Saturday night.
All right, Coach, thanks for that. I mean, again, we've been through 6 shows now, and I've been asked, why haven't you asked me about that? So there it is. For all those that were asking.
Well, you're hard-headed, I'll tell you, Alan. I
forget. I get
yeah, that's what my wife tells me about me sometimes. But it's 6 shows. That's pretty good.
All right, Coach, let's get to a couple of questions. Got one coming here, Coach, that says, Coach, some of us knew this was going to be a learning process this season due to new coaches and players. With that, what do you feel it has been the big change from Game 1 to Game 6? I feel that we have built on, continue to play the whole game to the last second.
We have been. We're playing the whole game to the last second. We're playing hard. I just and it's not one person making the same mistake over and over again. We're just having, each week it's a different guy, or every other week it's a different guy. We got to be able to we got to do a better job staying focused on what we're trying to present to our guys from a cultural standpoint. Once everybody pulls in the same direction and does the same thing and has the same vision, and it becomes more about us than it does about me, then we start seeing the results on the scoreboard. And we've had to overcome some things. Even in our wins against Lamar and Northwestern, we've had to overcome some things. And we were able to. We weren't able to overcome them against Monroe and UCA and UIW and LSU. We couldn't overcome those mistakes. So when we eliminate those mistakes, I think what you'll see is a much better product on the team as far as the final score is concerned. But I want to be able to know that when we walk off the field, everybody that came to our game and watched our guys play, that they know that they played hard and gave everything they did.
Coach, another question comes in and says, Coach, after this week against UIW, what changes can we expect to see in our defense?
Personnel, scheme-wise, you won't see any. You'll see us game plan the Huskies just like we do everybody else. We'll go break them down and find all the things that we feel that we need to do to stop them or slow them down or put us in a position to win. Personnel-wise, I think there might be one or two. You might see a little bit more Shamar Busby back there in the secondary. He's got a chance to play a little bit more. Darius Stokes might be able to get on the field, get some snaps in. So, there might be a couple of guys getting some extra snaps out there on the field. But I think scheme-wise, it's always the same. We're going to go in and break an opponent down, and if we got to alter, manipulate some things, we'll do that.
Coach, Reggie from LaPlace says, Coach, why does our offense seem to get off to great starts but then has struggled to be consistent the rest of the game?
Yeah, Reggie, I agree with you. We're working on that every day, so we spend the time doing that. Whether we get complacent, whether we don't adjust, whether they adjust, the opponent adjusts. I don't think there's any one thing that we can pinpoint it on. I think sometimes maybe complacency might become a part of it. So all those things might go into play. So it's a constant work in progress. We know that. I promise you, I feel you. Everybody does, but our whole staff does and our team does. We want to rectify it. We're working to rectify it, and we'll get it done.
Coach, I know one thing that you certainly have figured out is how to score on the first possession. We scored 5 out of 6 games on the first possession.
Yeah, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
We want to be able to do that. We want to be able to do that as much as we can. I want to, I think that goes into the amount of studying that we're doing now. It doesn't mean we have to adjust more during the game, possibly. Doesn't mean we've got to quit turning it over. Yes. Penalties, yes. All those things, we got to make sure we're doing those things, doing them the right way. But it comes from practice. We got to continually practice all these situations and put our guys in those situations. We got to figure out how to handle success. We've got to be able to handle success. We do well and we score. Now let's handle it. What do we do? Now let's get the killer instinct and put these guys away. Let's do that instead of allowing people to get back into these games.
Coach, final question of the night that we have come in here says Jerry from Hammond. It says, Coach, how can you or can you coach stopping turnovers?
It's an emphasis. I think there's techniques involved as far as running with the football when you got the football in your hands, how to hold the ball, putting the ball in your outside arm as you on either side of the field, away from the opponents, covering the ball in traffic. We say, when you're in the middle of traffic, you want 2 hands on the football or 2 arms on the football, not allowing the helmet to be on there. The guy that's going to get you is the one you don't see, so be prepared with the football at all times. From the interception standpoint, it's to make good decisions. That's the majority of the time why interceptions take place is because of misreading the coverage, trying to force the ball into coverage. Sometimes it's don't make a bad play worse. So those things come into play. And on the defensive side, we have a turnover circuit every day. So we go through a turnover circuit where we working jumping up high and catching, intercepting balls at the highest point, diving on fumbles, stripping, things like that. So we practice on those things. Those things are being practiced every day. And until it becomes a habit for each and every player, these things are they'll take place. They take place every day at every level.
I want to thank all those that sent in questions tonight and being a part of our program. Lions will take on Houston Baptist this weekend, 4 o'clock kickoff in Strawberry Stadium. It's homecoming in Hammond. If you're a Southeastern grad or just a member of our Hammond community, we certainly expect you to see you there Saturday, 4 o'clock as the Lions take on Houston Baptist. Coach, about a minute left. Your final thoughts of the night as you put in Cardinal Word behind you and look forward to this weekend.
Yeah, they're gone. I'm already looking forward, and so is our team. I want the fan base to come out there Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. I think like you said, the atmosphere, the weather, the homecoming festivities, but it's been really cool to listen to and get messages from and emails and things like that from people that can't wait to come in and see us in person. So we expect a good crowd. We're expecting a lot of energy. I'm hoping that the student body turns out in big numbers, and because they do provide a lot of energy. On the way over here tonight, the band was in the stadium playing, and it's, when you hear the band playing our fight song, it just sounds good. You get goosebumps. So I'm looking forward to that. The Lion Walk, everything. It'll be a great weekend. I hope everybody can make it out.
Well, we're out of time. Coach, thanks for being here, as we will see you Saturday in Strawberry Stadium.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alan.
All right,
Appreciate
that's going
everybody.
to do it for us. Thank you for everybody who tuned in tonight and also who joined us, as we'll see you Saturday, 4 o'clock in Strawberry Stadium. Lions will take on Houston Bad. That's going to do it for us. For Coach Frank Scelfo, I'm Alan Waddell. We'll see you next time on Inside Southeastern Football, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.